Good morning, Jam. It's really good to be with you again today. Just a really quick intro from me because we've got an action-packed morning for you. We're all learning all about the story of Noah and his ark, and it's going to be a fantastic morning. But you might want to pause the video in a moment and make sure you've got yourselves either a couple of paper plates or some card that you can cut round into a rough circle, and anything to colour that in with, either paint or pens, whatever you've got to hand, because we've got a fantastic craft for you today as well. So really just have a fantastic morning, and I will see you a little bit later on. Take care, guys. Bye.
Hi everybody, I hope you're all well. I hope we're getting on all right. I hope everything's going well for you all. Today's story is called A New Beginning, and it's Noah's Ark. We all know this story really well, so I hope you're going to enjoy the story today. And it's again from Genesis, and it's from 6 to 9.
Time passed, and many people filled the earth. Everywhere had forgotten about God, and they were only doing bad things all the time. God's heart was filled with pain when he saw what had happened to the world he'd loved. Everyone was diseased and death and destruction and all the things God hated most. Now Noah was God's friend, which was odd in those days because no one else was. Noah listened to God. He talked to God. He just loved being with God, like you do with your best friends. Noah, God said, things have gone wrong and people have filled my world with hate instead of love. They are destroying themselves and each other and my world. I must stop them. First, we'll build an ark. Do you know how to build an ark? Neither did Noah. Luckily, God knew how. and he would show him too. "A storm is coming," God told Noah, "but I will rescue you, I promise. I'll send the animals to you, ones that creep and crawl and slither and slime and gallop and hop and bound and climb, and don't forget to pack everyone's food." The storm was going to wash away all the hate and the sadness and everything that had gone wrong and make the world clean again. God had thought up a way to keep Noah safe, but Noah would have to trust God and do exactly what God had told him. So Noah built the ark, short for a very large boat. Noah's neighbours came out to watch him and pointed and laughed because they didn't believe Noah about the boat or the storm or needing to be rescued. And Noah must look rather silly. His boat was in the desert, and the desert was nowhere near the sea, and there wasn't even a cloud in the sky. Why would you need an umbrella, let alone a boat? But Noah didn't mind so much what other people thought. He minded what God thought. So he just did what God told him to do. And when the ark was ready, God said, "All aboard!" And Noah's family and all the animals climbed inside. And then God shut the door. It started to rain for minutes, that joined into hours, that joined into days, that joined into weeks and weeks. And the rain joined up into puddles, that joined up into rivers, that joined up into lakes, that joined up into a flood that covered the whole world. Their boat that once seemed so big suddenly seemed very small. In the middle of a huge storm, in the crashing waves, in all the thunder and the lightning, through it all, God was with them. And God kept them safe for 40 days and 40 nights. Finally, the rain stopped. The sun came out, and Noah threw open all the windows. "Hurrah!" shouted everyone. Noah sent his dove out to explore, and it wasn't long before she came back with a fresh olive leaf. Everyone knew exactly what that meant. She had found a tree and land. The water was going down. At last, the boat landed quite suddenly on top of a great mountain. As soon as it was safe, God said, "Out you come!" And so they did. Everyone skipping and dancing onto the dry land. The first thing Noah did was to thank God for rescuing them, just as he had promised. And the first thing God did was make another promise. "I won't ever destroy the world again." And like a warrior who puts away his bow and arrow at the end of a great battle, God said, "See, I have hung up my bow in the clouds." And there, in the clouds, just where the storm meets the sun, was a beautiful bow of light, what we now know as a rainbow. It was a new beginning to God's world. It wasn't long before everything went wrong again, but God wasn't surprised. He knew this would happen. That's why, before the beginning of time, he had another plan, a better plan. A plan not to destroy the world, but to rescue it. A plan to one day send his own son, the rescuer. God's strong anger against hate and sadness and death would come down once more, but not on his people or his world. No, God's war bow was not pointing down at his people. It was pointing up into the hearts of heaven.
Papayas, but nothing can beat that sweet, sweet love of God. Well, I was walking round in circles for miles an hour, trying to find my way back to the Heavenly Father. The world tasted sweet, but soon it turned sour, and then I asked him in and I received his power. 1, 2, 3, I like bananas. I know the mangoes are sweet. I like the nothing can beat that sweet, sweet love of God. Now I was walking round in circles 5 miles an hour, trying to find my way back to the Heavenly Father. The world tasted sweet, but soon it turned sour, and then I asked him in and received his power. 1, 2, 3, I like bananas. I know the mangoes are sweet. I like papayas. Nothing can beat that sweet, sweet love of God.
Hello, John again. The story today is about Noah and his ark and the promises that God gave Noah and the rainbow. And I thought we'd try and make a simple version of Noah's ark with a rainbow in it. And so this is how we're going to do it. You need to have 2 disposable plates, paper plates, okay? Put one aside, take this one and cut it right across the middle. Right across the middle. Don't have to be accurate, but this is going to make the hub of the ark. There you are, that's what it's going to be like, the hull. Alright, that's going to be sailing on the sea. First of all then, we need to paint this. Now I think the ark was made of wood, so we'll paint it brown. Brown, okay. Here we go. Now, to make brown paint, if you haven't got brown like I haven't, you mix together the 3 primary colours. You mix together yellow, red and blue and you get brown. So here we go, and you just slop it on. Slop it on, brown colour. Dries quickly. This is ordinary poster paint. Anyway, you can see how we do it. We put that on like that, okay? Put that aside for now, because I've had one done that's dried. There we are. That's dried. And I've already started to put on that some markings to show where the planks are likely to be, just to turn it from a brown half of a paper plate to a hull for the ark. So, if I can find my brown pen, I'll just continue doing the lines across to show where I think the planks would be. There we are, and I've marked around here just to show the keel, and these are the various shiplap planks that make up the hull. Okay, right, we put that aside now and we move on to the second plate. Here's the second plate. Now this is going to be the rainbow. I'll just show you how it's going to fit together so you can see what we're going to do. That's our ark. This is our rainbow. Let's make our rainbow. First of all then, let's go for what's on the outside of a rainbow? Red, isn't it? So let's put some red in, shall we? Righty-ho. So we don't have to go right the way round, because if you remember, just under half of it will be covered by the hull. So we put the red round the outside, just as it comes out of the tube. Red poster paint. There we are. The next layer is red, orange, yellow. Let's put yellow on first, shall we? Because as you know, orange is made up of yellow and red. So maybe we can put a yellow in here. And then we can fill up the middle with a mixture of our red and yellow. Okay, this is how it's going. So now I'm going to put some red in with that and mix that up a bit and put the orange in the middle. And can you see what's happening? We're getting our rainbow. And so on. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. You know how to do that, so I won't continue any further with that. I'll take you to one that we've already done, or I've already done. There we are. Okay, so we've got our rainbow. We've got our brown hull. Where is it? Not that piece. There it is. And that's going to fit like that. Okay. How's that look? About right. Before we stick it in, we're going to write on here, because that's what I want you to remember from this, that God keeps his promises. So I'm going to write that on, so every time we look at this, we'll remember the rainbow, God's promise to us, and the ark, what he did for Noah, and God. No, that's no good. We're losing the page. Let's try another one. God keeps his promises. God keeps his promises. Okay, hope I spelled that right. Now, the next job is to fasten this onto here. And we can do that by gluing, or I prefer to just staple the edges. So you hold it in place, and let's just staple that in. Okay, and then we go to the other side. But notice we're pushing it out a little bit because we want to have a little pocket there that we can fill up. But more of that later. Just get this lined up properly. Lined up and then pushed in, and we're ready to go. Now the next thing we can do, to make it look more like a boat that's sailing in the sea, we can put some sea in. Now I'll show you how one way of putting the sea in. Of course you could paint it in if you want to, or you could take some blue paper. If you've got any blue paper, and this is a piece of origami paper that I've got, I'm just going to cut a strip about 2 centimetres. It doesn't have to be accurate. And then I'm going to mark waves on it. Now I only want to mark the waves once, so I'm going to fold it in half, and then in half again, and I'm going to mark the waves. One wave, I'm going to come in about here. I'm going to do that. See what I've done? I'm going to cut that out. Okay. I'm not sticking to the line, I'm doing it. It might be better because I'm going to get the nice swing of the scissors. I hope your scissors skills are good, I'm sure they are. Probably better than mine actually. Right, let's see what we've got. So when I open this out, we've got 4 waves sticking up, and that can go along the bottom there just to remind us. And now does that look all right? Good. Okay, well let's fasten the bottom and the C in together. So if I hold those all together there, and then we'll put a staple on the bottom. And that is the construction finished. Okay. Noah's Ark, God keeps his promises, and the symbol of the rainbow. Ah, but you're saying, what about the whole point of the story? What about all the animals? Okay, well, that's up to you. You could get stickers and stick animal stickers all over it. Maybe you've got some little stuffed animals, stuffed furry little animals that will actually poke in there so they can be looking out the top. Yeah? Or, I tell you what I'm going to do, because I haven't got any little animals. What I have got Pat collects these little China animals. So I'm going to put those China animals, I'm just going to pad this up here, pad it out with some tissue, and I'm going to put some of these little China animals in here, perhaps just looking over the top. Oops, I'm going to have to hold this, aren't I? I need some more padding in here. As I say, this is up to you. You do it whichever way you want to do it. Some more padding. a dolphin. There's a chimp. One more like an ape. It's a squirrel. And so on. But you can finish it any way you want to. You might want to make a hole in it and hang it on the wall. Remember the rainbow, and remember the animals. Remember that God keeps his promises. Bye. See you again.
1, 2, 3, 4. Jesus is greater than the greatest heroes. Jesus is closer than the closest friends. He came from heaven and he died to save us, to show us love that never ends. Son of God and the Lord of glory. He's the light, following his way. He's the truth that we can believe in. He's the life he's living today. Son of God and the Lord of glory. He's the light, following his way. He's the truth that we can believe in. He's the life he's living today. Jesus is greater than the greatest heroes. Jesus is closer than the closest friends. He came from heaven and he died to save us, to show us love that never ends. Son of God and the Lord of glory. He's the light, following his way. He's the truth that we can believe in. He's the life he's living today. Son of God and the Lord of glory. He's the light, following his way. He's the truth that we can believe in. He's the life he's living today. I said that he's the life he's living today. Oh yeah, he's the life he's living today.
Dear God, thank you for this time of year. Thank you for the changes of the season, the trees changing colour and the autumn time beginning. Thank you for helping us every day, for looking after us and our families. We want to also lift the world up to you right now, to keep it safe and to help heal it. We also thank you for looking after us at school and helping us with our work. We want to say thank you, Lord, for everything you do. Amen.
What a fantastic morning that was. I hope you really enjoyed it and had a lot of fun. We'll be back next week with our next story, and for now, have a fantastic Sunday. Bye.